Hello, everybody.
So good.
All right, let's see here.
And I had a little bit of allergy. The allergies are all gone. This soup is like, I think this
Oh, I
soup
need that
came
soup.
to Kansas.
I'm gonna put that soup in the game scent.
It will protect you for every ill.
In game scent.
Astro,
point
that's
out-
right, Nick. Woo! We did it.
People pointed out you could just outsmart Dan by putting something else in each of the chambers and not actually having it go through all those smells.
Yeah,
Jeff
no,
just does what Dan says. Hey, go put on this costume and walk out on
I
the street.
know.
I'll do
It's
that.
funny.
That's
Yeah.
the problem.
Get run over
everyone's
by a
still it's like that's the one that always comes up, and it's like you guys really made a bigger deal out of that than what it was. I could see everything, except for that car that almost killed me, of course.
You dumbass.
I'm drinking this mezcal because of you. This is what you're
Yeah,
drinking.
no, I drive you to drink. I understand. I get that. All right.
It's a pretty big pour, Mikey, now that I look at it.
Advil, allergy, and
Oh,
congestion
that's
relief.
good.
Cody. Cody, I'm gonna do that after I go to the doctor tomorrow.
It kind of tastes like church. It's like smoky in like an incense kind of way.
What, like
Okay.
sin?
Yeah, and
No, specifically the incense.
Predation?
It tastes like incense.
okay.
And thank God you said that because I was going to make a way horrible joke about that.
Oh,
I went
he
to
can make
I went to a
that. He's on
Lutheran
top of the world
church,
right
and
now.
that just smells like the suburbs, Mike. We very
No,
different.
yeah, well, the Lutheran. Sure,
Yeah, exactly.
absolutely.
Yeah, you get it.
Yeah.
All right, let me tweet, and then I think I'll be ready.
That guy should drop a patch for a whole religion. That was crazy. That guy
Yes, he did. Yes. Have some update notes here.
Hey, I had Twitch follow me when I was streaming earlier.
Did who follow you? What?
Twitch followed me when I was streaming.
Oh, that's fun. Do you think that was God? No, he retired. Ethan or whatever his name was himself.
I don't know. I thought maybe it was Mary's doing, but I don't know. Maybe they just. I mean, I am.
himself.
Maybe they just randomly go to verify people's channels or partners and follow them. I don't know.
That means you got the Popo watching now. You gotta be on your best behavior.
Yeah, I made sure I didn't say anything about the Nazis that time.
With the scribble Nazis.
The worst part about
That
the
is-
soup is that finishing it.
I'm drinking it in that my fancy Kenna and the what was that?
Bridge of
Spirits. Yeah, glass I got sent randomly. Ooh, Man, you know I think like. Look, I love tequila too, but like mezcal's just kind of better tequila. I love
tequila.
I drank mezcal in Brave New World.
Ooh,
Even I don't like tequila.
really?
Okay.
Yeah.
I like margaritas, but not like straight tequila.
I got
I could do
one
it
sip
straight.
of mezcal once, and I was like, "That's okay."
I just like smoky things. Like
Oh,
I
that's
love
fair.
Scotch. I love the smoky scotches,
The
right?
Bandits.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
The
I got a
Bears.
Port
Like I was
Charlotte.
chewing on a fucking tree.
The Bandit. You're funny.
I'm just entertaining myself over here. You guys hear that?
I like it.
Yes,
Yeah,
we hear
I
it.
hear it.
All right, I finished my soup. I'm a superpower now. I am like, I can do whatever the fuck I want.
You guys put the gimmicks in the soup down there, I think.
Rum was my first phase, Brine Wind. I went from rum to bourbon to now my kind of scotch in the winter months and tequila in the summer months phase.
Yeah, mine's pretty similar. Right now, I'm really into Robitussin. That's what I'm chugging.
That hits hard, huh?
That's the good stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
I let it
doing the,
age a little bit. Sure. All right, I think I'm ready. Mike, are you good?
Yeah, I want to ask Wizard of Blood. You doing the Lagavulin 16? The 8's pretty good. You can get that special Offerman Edition 11. That's nice too. Lagavulin, always good stuff. I'm ready.
Okay.
Did you tweet?
Yes, I did. All right. So let's see here. All right, we're gonna go live
All right,
in
Let's do it.
5, 4, 3. It's the internet. You're busy. Let's do this. Welcome to the Game Mess Decides podcast. This is the podcast where we decide everything about the world of video games so you never have to think for yourself. I'm your host, Jeff Grubb, and with me is
Mike Minotti.
In today's episode, we have Astro, and Game of the Year 2021. We'll do that state of play, roundup, and all that stuff, but all that really matters is Astro. I'm gonna keep saying it like that.
Astro.
Yeah, I'm emphasizing the ass for some reason. I don't mean to do that. I think it's just natural. My mouth just does that. Yeah. I don't feel good. I'm sick. I think it's more than just allergies now. And so it's gonna be a short episode, everybody, because I just got to survive tonight. I think is the big thing.
We got it, everybody. Don't worry. We're all looking for what could have caused this. But yeah, I hope you feel better, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
What are you? You take an easy day tomorrow?
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna look into it. I told Jan I would think about it. He really wants me to, and I'll probably have to because he probably won't let me do any of the other shows if I don't.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll see. I'll probably take it easy tomorrow. We'll get to sleep here in a little bit tonight, but plenty to talk about and all that stuff. How are you feeling overall, though?
I'm good. You know, I think we had our first little event today leading up to all this summer stuff.
First two? Did you watch the Silent Hill thing at all? I did not.
No.
Of course not. Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm
not a psychopath. Yeah.
Not crazy. I don't know. But no, we had the Sony thing. I mean, look, all I ever really wanted from that was Astro, and we got that, so I'm happy. I'm almost curious to run our own poll because, like, I don't know if our audience aligns more with us. We're one.
Yeah, I think
perhaps they understand. They have expectations for what a state of play is versus the showcase, and maybe they are also happy about Astro. But you know, maybe we're being blinded by our Astro love, and everything else was very
no. We're right. The children are wrong.
Perhaps. But yeah. I'm excited to talk about it there. But do you want to just lead in with Astro and how exciting that is? Because boy, am I excited.
Yeah, let's do it. You can get more from Mike and me by joining the Patreon at patreon.com/GameMess. Give us a good rating. If you want to ask a question, do a super chat here on YouTube. We'll get to all those before the end of the show. Thank you to Carlos Sain, who is Insane in the Rain Music on YouTube. Thanks to One Up versus CPU for our art. We are on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and wherever pods are caught. Thank you to the mods, and support us once again by going to patreon.com/GameMess. That gets you access to our Discord server, the monthly Q&A, participation in our monthly Game Club discussions, 1 month early access to new episodes of Game Mess Jeopardy and Columbros, and of course, all of our shows ad-free. Thank you, everybody, for the support recently. It's meant a lot. All right, yeah, let's hop into it. Let's start with Astro. That's what matters. State of play happened. Yeah. 30 minutes, 14 games. We were counting down because Astro was last. We're like a little worried because it was like they were running out of time. But there at the end, they dropped it, and I thought it looked astounding. I think it looks amazing. How'd you feel about it?
I was so happy, right? There's that little bit of a second there where was gliding on the PS5 controller for a while.
Yeah.
This isn't the whole game, is it?
Right, like, is this a motion control, like racing game?
Is this a lair-like?
Yeah, lair-like, yeah.
No, but then he landed.
Astro's air ride. Yeah.
It's exactly what I wanted. It is just Astro's Playroom taken into a full game, and that's entirely what they conveyed here. And, it's not like you have to do any one big thing to change that up. But kind of like with the best Mario games, there's clearly so many different things happening at any moment to switch things up. Like all of a sudden you have frog boxing gloves and now you have some new abilities there. Kratos is going to give you his axe. There's like a dog on his backpack and we had new abilities there. So it just seems like there's going to constantly be interesting things to change things up. But just the core mechanics of Astro as a 3D platformer feel so good, and the game looks so pretty, and the music is outstanding. The aesthetics are immaculate. Astro himself is such an appealing character. I love him. Sackboy, I'm sorry, you could never. No. This is immediately my most anticipated game for the rest of the year now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. That is also true for me. My most anticipated game for the rest of the year is Astro Bot, without a question. And that was true before I even read some of these details that we got on the blog post. I'll read here. Shout out to Wario64 for collecting them here. Pre-orders begin June 7th. It is not a free game. Clearly, based on what we saw, it comes out September 6th. It has six galaxies spanning over 80 levels. It has unique planets. Well, one of the things that's not mentioned here, you mentioned this though. It's like, a ton of new ideas. They do explicitly say, like, every 10 minutes we want to be giving you something new. And to me, when I hear that, that sounds like, here is a studio that understands what makes a game good. If you have a bunch of ideas, throw them all in there. Give a player about 10 minutes to play around with it, and then introduce something new to like put some variability in there. You don't have to throw out the whole thing, but just make it shift it a little bit. So it's something new every about 10 to 12 minutes. That's honestly the length of the average attention span for ideas. I think it's really smart stuff, and it just sounds like this is chock full of it. They have over 70 new enemy types, 15 new abilities, packed with die and retry levels to test your reflexes for those looking for a challenge. I feel like they wrote this specifically for me. That's a couple of PR people when I wrote like die and retry. I can't wait. Some PR people that I know work with Sony were like liking the tweet, kind of like waiting for me to send them that. I'm like,
we're so fucking back.
I know it's here.
Oh
We're doing it. It's absolutely happening. And then they're doubling down on the number of PlayStation character cameos with a hint that they'll play a bigger role. It's very clear to me that they're playing a huge role in the main story of this game, which is the right call.
I almost think they might be like the equivalent of like the Mario 64 stars here, because we see that picture of them all in the ship. Like maybe it's another rescue mission, but this time we're literally saving PlayStation, right? You collect these guys, and then they're on your ship or whatever, and they're kind of in your crew, things like that. Boy, am I down for that.
Yep, I think it's a really clever presentation for the story. And then the game looked so alive in terms of its animation. The boss fights were massive and impressive. Tons of them just in that trailer. It's like I think they said like one at the end of every galaxy, but there's probably more than that. It's probably like
I feel like they showed they showed a lot just in that trailer.
Right.
The genie and the bird and the monkey, tons of them.
And it just looked fantastic. For me, when I see something like this, I'm like, oh, I am relieved that we still get stuff like this, that they fully are capable of making this, that they know it's worth their time and money. And I'm like, okay, now it's up to people who play games to live up to their end of the bargain and get excited and buy this thing. But whatever, I'm getting it. I'm happy, and I know I'm going to love it. I'm so ecstatic.
Right, because you kind of hope, right? Because, I like 3D platformers a lot. Like,
Same.
My favorite games on the PlayStation 5 right now are, Astro's Playroom and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. And whenever I say like Rift Apart sales numbers, like that's not bad, but to me, man, that seems like a really special game and it can only do that. I hope with Astro Bot, especially since literally everyone who has a PS5, it's a 100% attach rate, right? Doesn't mean everybody opened it, but you sure hope a lot of people played that game, and you hope that they're going to show up for this. I don't know anyone who doesn't like Astro's Playroom, so hopefully that kind of just worked as like the greatest demo ever for this, and people do show up for this in a way where, I don't want to see it only sell 2 million copies. I want to see it sell 3, 4, 5 million, and maybe that's like over ambitious on my end, but I would feel so much better about gaming in general if that could happen. Yeah,
exact same. And I think people listening to this, if Astro has not been your thing in the past, what we're talking about might sound like, oh, they're just really into this cute, game off to the side. That's not what this is. The game included with the PS5 was a Game of the Year contender on its own as a tech demo. So my expectations for this are even higher. And what I've seen so far has lived up to and surpassed those expectations. So it's like, this is my most anticipated game because there's a very strong chance it's going to be my game of the year. That's how much I'm looking forward to this. So, really impressed. And again, like I said, it's that relief that this is what we asked for. They're doing it exactly how we wanted. They're talking about the die and retry levels as of like that's a major feature that they're making a big deal out of.
They know.
They know what they have. And they're capitalizing on it, and it's just so nice.
Right. I almost like sometimes headsets just come across as nothing but glow, glow, glow. But this is literally exactly what we wanted. And it looks like as soon as we played Astro's Playroom, it's like just have them make a full game now. Yep. It seems like that's exactly what they did. Almost as soon as that came out, they also recognized that it was special and it was great, and they just let them absolutely cook. And I am a hungry boy, Jeff.
Same here. Feed me more. $70. I hope it's $70. It looks like it's a $70 game to me.
Yeah, people get mad. People got mad at me whenever I say like, Hi-Fi Rush shouldn't have been $30. It's like, look, I'm not trying to do some kind of like, I don't know what you would call it, moneyist thing. Yeah. But like, look, I want the games need to be valued appropriately at some point so that people don't, undervalue them in a way. I do think that hurt Hi-Fi Rush a bit. I'm looking for $60. I won't complain either. But I almost would roll my eyes that this is a $40 game at a certain point.
Same here. Yes, they anchored a state of play with this game. I think that there's no way it's like 30 or 40. There's a world in which they're like, well, yeah, it's one of those, so it's only 50. I hope they don't do that. Personally, I think they need to Tell gamers that this game is important because it actually is, and to a certain extent, I think people will believe them, and then they'll complain no matter what. So what can you do about that?
But it also, I mean, like, because of just the way things are, this is their big kind of fourth quarter release now.
Yep.
They don't have something else, much to some other people's chagrins. But we're not getting Ghost of Tsushima 2. We're not getting Wolverine this year. This is the big game. Hey, even if maybe this isn't the thing that you would necessarily always have kind of put all your money on, you kind of have to now. So go for it. Treat it like a big deal. It is one.
It is. It absolutely is. That was easily the game of the state of play for me, far and away. And that's not to like denigrate the rest of the games. The rest of the games for me across the board are in that bucket. Well, except for Monster Hunter Wilds. I know how we're gonna have fun with that. But then beyond that, everything's like, okay, I'll try it, and if I like it, that's great. But I need to play it before I know if I'm really excited about it, and that's fine. That's how I feel about most games in these state of plays and directs and Xbox showcases and all that stuff. Did anything stand out to you?
I mean, I was excited seeing like real gameplay of Monster Hunter Wilds. I'm glad that we are getting, the great thing in Rise was having that dog mount. It made movement feel a lot better in that game. And we're getting a new version of that. It's not a dog necessarily. It's kind of a lizard, which kind of looks even cooler to me.
They can fly also, sorry. It looks awesome.
That's fantastic. We're getting a bit of a aesthetic vibe now with this one. I think the Monster Hunter games have just been fantastic and getting better. I am super excited for Wilds. That's next year, but when we get to 2025, that'll be one of my most anticipated games of that year. What do we make of Concord, Jeff? What do we do with Concord? What do we do about Concord?
Yeah, I don't know. Real quick on Wilds, I'll just say for me it was the kind of thing where that's another team that knows what they have and knows how to show it off and knows how to build from one game to the next and taking ideas from, like you were mentioning, Rise and World, putting it all together in one. It's like, okay, this is going to be a very competent game, and that excites me as well. The Concord problem is, it's a conundrum over there.
I gotta rise out of Christian with that phrasing.
The Concord problem is a pretty good phrase.
Yeah.
That should be the name of the game.
Yeah. Listen, we're gonna be playing this game pretty soon, right? July is the beta.
Yeah.
So again, the biggest part of me is like, look, you're spending a lot of time and money on this game. It's your next big live service release. You must believe in it. There must be something to it. I'm willing to see for myself whether there's something to that. When it's in this showcase, though, and they start with a long, sort of antiquated feeling FMV sequence, it's a CGI sequence that is that I feel nothing for. And I know that we were all saying that. I don't know if everyone across the board feels that way, but I imagine we're not mostly alone in like being like, what does this have to do with an online competitive shooter game?
Well, they wanted it to be like Overwatch's first CG trailer, where we had those kids in that museum, and then Tracer and Winston show up, and it was like this kind of big deal. But
you're not Blizzard.
Those were really good characters.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's Blizzard, man.
Yeah, and it's like I don't mean that to be like, well, you're just not up to snuff. This team seems very talented. No one is Blizzard, and Blizzard can command that sort of attention, because they've proven it over and over again. And with this, it's like, why are you wasting my time with this? I don't even know if the game is fun yet. I don't have any attachment to these characters. And everyone had the same reaction that we did on that stream, which was, this looks like Diet Guardians of the Galaxy. This looks bland because of that. To be fair, it's like, I would rather that than like trying to be exactly like Overwatch or a bunch of other things. But even that's like, it's not standing out. And then the gameplay, it's like, okay, it looks decent. I don't know.
It looks decent. It looks very Overwatchy from what I can tell. Maybe it's a bit more Valorant-y. I don't know. But yeah, it's another hero shooter. What's up?
Sorry. I think it looks way more like the PvP in Destiny. Like the movement, the way she was throwing like grenades and stuff looks very like the Warlock in Destiny. That. Yeah, the guns being like huge and like occupying like 25% of the screen that's very, very Destiny. So I think they're doing a Destiny PvP type deal.
Well, so there's a lot more talk about lanes and stuff like that, and there's some of the abilities like that made me think, I don't know, Valorant. You know what? Like the game itself, yeah, that could be fun. I've played games like this before that I have enjoyed, but you're also always a little skeptical of them because there are always a lot of them.
And it's very hard in this moment to imagine this game becoming my hobby, and that's
sure.
And that, again, that might sound unfair, but a part of me feels like that's what all of these live service games are asking of us at a certain point. Like, that is not like, oh, you know, you can come play this game for a couple of sessions and get your money's worth out of it. That's not what they're saying here. This needs to become something you spend a lot of time with and come back to regularly, like Helldivers 2 has. And it's very difficult to imagine that world where that happens with me and Concord. Do we know actually if this game is free to play? We made that assumption on the Bombcast stream. Since then, I've seen people be like, we don't know if that's the case. Like, pre-orders there was talk of like maybe I saw someone say pre-orders are going to happen at some point in the next little bit. I'm like, pre-order what? What are you talking about?
And what are you pre-ordering? I mean, it's a season pass. It'd be weird if it's
what if it's not free to play? Yeah.
Because I mean, what are the other components of this game? It seems like it is just that 5v5 thing. That's a hard sell anymore.
People are understanding that pre-orders is a thing with this game.
Well,
okay.
Look at Helldivers. Helldivers is also free.
Definitely. Yeah. Right.
I think it's a little bit different for Helldivers, though,
it
right?
Is a little bit different, yes.
It's a little bit different. But, man, for something like this, where, again, your main competition is Overwatch, a 5v5 hero shooter, and it is free to play now. I know it used to not be, but it is, and that's what you're competing against. And I'm like, other things like that, you know, Marvel game that was also here, Marvel Rivals, that's next on. That's definitely going to be free to play.
Yeah, NetEase, yeah.
I feel like this specific genre, especially once Overwatch 2 went free to play, that genie is out of the bottle now. That's kind of difficult to come in as a premium thing.
I did a little bit digging, and people who had access or, who put out articles today, they did specifically mention that there will be free post-launch updates. And why would you note that post-launch updates are free unless the game is paid for? So,
all right, then how much does this game cost? How much are they charging for this?
Well, Overwatch 2 was 40. I mean, Overwatch 1 was 40.
Helldivers
20
2
for
was
the starter
40.
edition. Might have been 20 with the starter edition. I bet it's gonna be like 40, and they're gonna try to give you a lot of skins and stuff. Like, look, I liked that better with Overwatch that I just paid once and got everything ever.
We still don't know what the business model is going to be for this game, but assuming the best case scenario, yeah.
I just, I think it's just hard these days to make an immediate splash like that, especially when you're not the new Blizzard game, right? That's one reason why Overwatch was able to get away with it. And there was a lot of hype because they did things like betas where everybody was just gushing.
Right.
I don't know.
We don't know that this is not in PlayStation Plus. That could have an effect as well. But it's like when I look at it through the prism of Steam, the finals is on Steam. There's a bunch of stuff recent that kind of like a bunch of shooters like that have come out recently, been free to play, got an audience, and weren't even able to maintain that. I think starting slower because you cost money. I don't know. Of course, it's behind the eight ball. This isn't some great insight. Everyone understands this, but it's just, it's weird.
I just think the biggest problem is, a hero shooter, that character design does matter so much. And I'm like looking at like some of these like close-up portraits. I straight up don't like looking at some of these characters. Yeah, they're like some of their like their facial features are oddly realistic. Then they're like kind of a lizard person or something. And
the lizard guy specifically is I was like not vibing with. Like, he had a ton of personality. It was too much.
Too much personality, just like me.
Exactly what I was going to say. He's obnoxious, and it's like not with no charm. Like, they're like, oh, he's kind of a brute, and he eats his cereal, and he holds the spoon with his whole fist instead of like, daintily like a normal person.
He talked about dying with honor, like literally like some Drax or some Klingon shit. Like, wow, yeah, we get it, big guy. Okay,
it's strange. And the part of me does believe that these kinds of games ride and die on their characters and how much people, want to be making art about them,
porn of them,
of course, and fan fiction and stuff like that. And that could happen here, but it feels again pretty far away.
You don't have to have that.
Them so much. I get it now. It's like, actually, I like them. Thank you for enlightening me.
Oh yeah, I'm glad. I'm happy for you.
Yeah. But you don't need that necessarily. Like Helldivers doesn't have anything like that, and it's fine. But you need a little something, a little bit of a sauce there.
Okay. Then I'm honestly, no offense to the rest of these games, but it is a lot of mush for me. God of War Ragnarok on PC. Yep, we get it. We knew that was going to happen. Dynasty Warrior Origins, a big surprise, but weird. I don't know.
Look, as somebody who does not care about Dynasty Warriors, I thought that they made that game look fun. It made it look kind of interesting.
They did present it in the best light possible. I agree with that. Infinity Nikki.
What the hell was Infinity Nikki?
I can't remember. Yep.
It's a super cutie one. There was
It's the dress-up game.
Right,
I remember what it is, but I just don't know
Yeah.
what it is.
Well, you took pictures.
So it looks like it is Princess Peach Showtime for anime fans, based on the extra trailer I saw. And
oh, so what everyone's been clamoring for, of course. Yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
Then they did the biggest whiplash I've ever seen in one of these showcases. From that cute girls taking pictures and dressing up, immediately into body horror and Cthulhian monsters with Where Winds Meet.
No, I think it was Ballad of Antara was that
Ballad of
first
Antara,
one.
that's right. Yes, I can't keep these names straight.
Ballad of Antara is what it looks very Elden Ring like. Straight up, even with like the pot head people.
Right.
Not like people who smoke a lot. I mean, they literally have pots on their head. Right. And like, honestly, it looked pretty slick for Windows, but boy, is it very Outer Ring-esque. Yeah. Then Where Winds Meet is the one that's much more like we're making our own Sekiro.
Yes, swordsman. Yeah.
Just another, you have to have at least 2 Souls-like games in these things, of course.
Then we'll get to VR here in a second. There was Marvel Rivals Until Dawn Remaster. Yeah, it's coming to PS5 and PC, basically, is what that actually is. Path of Exiles 2 looks really promising. Silent Hill 2, let's talk about that. I don't care, and I know you weren't impressed by the visuals.
It's one of those things where when the game is going and it's kind of zoomed out a bit, it's fine. The faces look rough, and this is a game where I think you're going to be looking at people's faces as they talk to each other a lot.
And I think they recently said they were like aware of this issue and that they were going to make improvements. This has to be the improved faces, and it still isn't much. So that's not promising.
I mean, they're in a rough spot because, of course, you are just competing with Resident Evil.
Everyone I've heard talk about it so far has compared it to Resident Evil 4, and not favorably.
Yeah. I mean, good luck with that. It's a very rough spot to be in. I get it.
Yep. All right, and then 2 PSVR games. Behemoth.
I got the under.
Yes, you won the under bet there. The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners people, they made Behemoth, and then Alien Rogue Incursion, an Alien game in VR. This does feel like leftover deals that they made previously, and now these games are just finally coming out. This does not feel like a reinvigoration of the PSVR 2 platform.
No, and I'm very happy that Team Asobi is just making a normal game. But if they really thought there was something with PSVR 2, they would be making a VR game.
Or a mode, like at least for this game. Yeah,
right. I didn't even talk about that. No. It's like, no, let's not even bother with that. I get it.
Yep, me too. Overall, and you know what? And I'll end the poll now as well. We have 275 votes.
Oh, well, yeah, well, you grade it. So, okay, our viewers have more of a C average. But then B, like when Keeley did it, D was the most popular answer, which was the lowest one. Which to me, it's like okay, that seems like a bit much.
That is people like praying for the one game they care about, which is Ghost of Tsushima 2 or Bloodborne, and not getting it and freaking
Wolverine,
out.
Right?
Yeah, Wolverine. God, if you were expecting Wolverine, you need to go get your head checked.
I would hope not. Everybody. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, 8% gave it an 8 or gave it an A, 17% gave it a D, 33% gave it a B, and 40% gave it a C. Mike, what would you give it?
It's probably a generous B, just because I'm so excited specifically about Astro, and I get that. But again, I thought other stuff did look interesting. As much shit as I'm giving Concord, I'm like, yeah, that could be fun. Monster Hunter Wilds looks fantastic. The Souls-like games did not look bad, and then even Dynasty was like, oh, okay. That's interesting. My expectations were pretty in check, Jeff, where I kind of I was like, all right, best case scenario. And what I'm really expecting is the Astro game and then some other stuff. That's basically what I was expecting. And that's what I got.
Right. I think my expectations were Astro, and I'm like, pretty sure Concord's going to be there. I have no idea what to expect from that. In my head, it was like, Concord could be completely bland and I don't care about it at all. When I saw it, it actually did surpass my expectations. So that helps a little bit as well. And I'm definitely comparing this to past state of plays where previous state of plays have had a lot of games where it's like, this just looks bad in this presentation.
Sure.
And there wasn't really much of that. Everything was like sort of fit and felt like it was in the right place. And we know what these state of plays are. This is what they're like. So overall, I thought this was a good one of those.
Agreed.
All right. We have some other news from this week, but like I said, I'm not feeling too good. So we're going to talk about the state of play. We're going to go do some super chats and we'll do some other stuff.
Real quick. It was that whole thing with Neil Druckmann's comments and that one like sizzle reel.
Yeah. What'd you think about that?
So messed. Well, because like you guys were talking about last week when I wasn't here, his quote, which was basically like, I want to make video games respectable and like people care about it and like TV, blah, blah, blah. And we think we all rolled our eyes on it. We all commented on it because we took PlayStation's words.
Yeah, it came from the horse's mouth. Yeah.
Right. For the drug. He's like, hey, that's not really what I said. Here's what I actually said. And it was way more nuanced and well put together than that. So I don't know. Like, I feel kind of like a jerk because I was in my head thinking like, oh, Neil Druckmann.
Oh,
like,
yeah, sure.
Yeah. And it's like, no, that's not what he meant. He's right. So
yeah.
I don't know. It's just wild to me because, again, press does not have much access to these people anymore. So PlayStation's doing it internally, and they're just kind of making shit up. That was wild.
And, I talked about this on Game S Mornings. It's like, and that's going to happen because the motivations and the sort of boundaries that press are limited to, very different than what a company that is trying to sell things and get investors excited are bound to. They go to Neil Druckmann to get a quote because they want to tell a story to get investors excited. When we, as press, talk to Neil Druckmann, we have to ethically reproduce what he's trying to say in a way that accurately represents what he's saying. We have to. That's the guidelines by which we're bound. And these companies are simply not. They are like, hey, first and foremost, we are trying to tell a story here as marketing. And so, yeah, of course this was going to happen. It's probably happened a lot before, and we just haven't had a Neil Druckmann with enough power to come out and stand against it. All that said, I too would if I had a chance, I would apologize to Neil Druckmann for repeating that, even though it's Sony's fault. Just straight up is. It still made me feel bad.
I'm sorry in a sense I did. I'm not sorry. Like, of course I did. And of course I assumed PlayStation wasn't putting words in your mouth, but I still feel bad.
Yep, absolutely. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we got a lot of super chats to get to. We'll talk about whatever you guys want to talk about right after this.
Break. I don't want to conquer porn. I was joking.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, speak for yourself. Jeez.
Yeah, come on, man.
All right. Send it to Sean. All right. Go back.
All right. Let's get back into it.
Cool.
All right, we are back. Mike, there's a bunch of super chats here. Let's read those.
Gotcha. I'll do that right now. Zoomer says, Concord wasted time. All the rest was hype. I mean, I think the CG trailer was probably a bit of a waste of time and money.
Yeah.
I mean, they showed gameplay. Like, yeah, it's another team-based hero shooter. But I was like, okay, it looks fun. It could be interesting. That's fine. I am still a little surprised that they went with the whole, we got to, farm out a CG trailer to one of these companies kind of thing to really sell this game. I don't know. I don't know what that accomplished.
Yeah, it feels like the kind of thing where those trailers get made because people in a boardroom or in a marketing team get excited about that, and not because they really understand what people are looking for when they're deciding what games they're going to buy.
Glitch says, what have you heard about a Sony showcase in September, Jeff? Ding, ding, round 2.
Okay. The answer that should be quoted is nothing. I've not heard anything about a showcase in September. That said, please don't quote this. There is a PlayStation 5 Pro still coming this year, right? So they have to talk about that at some point. And looking at what they did with PS4 Pro, they talked about that pretty close to the release of, I think, the PS4 Pro. I think they talked about it in September and it came out in November. So if you want to look at history and maybe say, hey, they're going to repeat that and they want to have a PS5 Pro announced next to some other stuff to get people excited. Because if you're trying to sell the most hardcore of hardcore new hardware, which is what the PS5 Pro is, announce it in September and tell them about all the cool games you're going to release in 2025. To me, a showcase in September makes sense, but I've heard nothing.
Well, Astro Bot hit September 6th, so they could do it right before then. It really emphasized that game's coming out or after then, because then we will once again be in a state where we don't know what's happening with PlayStation again. So yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised. Is what I would say.
Simon McKinley SD says, "Hey Mike, between the game sent, playing in New York City traffic, and Daikatana, how many years are taken from Jeff's lifespan due to Dan Reichert's antics?" Jeff, it's not. Look, is Dan Reichert to blame? Sure, but Jeff just lets him. I put my foot down. I from the very beginning was like, you can send me the game sent. I am not bringing it in my house. I am not plugging it in.
Look, if I die, yes, Andy, then I'm gonna die. All right, that's just that's how it's gonna go.
Just the most yes Andy motherfucker I've ever met in my life.
It's fun. I know it's killing me for sure, but it's fun. Yeah, listen, and Daikatana. Look, Mike's equally guilty for that. Honestly, I think Mike might be more guilty with the Daikatana thing.
Yeah, that was definitely my idea.
Yeah,
but Dan didn't have many ideas. He just kept asking me for them, and then he wouldn't like my other one. So then, he liked that one. So I tried to find you a Dreamcast game. Jeff, was I backseat gaming too much in the last Blake Club?
Bothers other people way more than it bothers me, which is weird because I'm like the thing about being ADHD is you might I think you know this because I can tell that you're since when I want to bring something up to me that I'm already going to do. If you tell someone with ADHD to do something they're already going to do, it will always make them mad. 100% of the time, it will piss them off. And I'm playing the game and I'm about to do a bunch of stuff, and Michael mentioned, I'm like, I get it. It's like a little annoying, but not like in some huge way. And people are like freaking out about it. I'm like, guys, we were way overreacting to this. This is not a problem.
Well, I will keep my yapper shut a little bit more next time.
Like I said, I do not think it's a problem.
Ali Miracle says, so when you're collecting checks from AI gamers and giving you sinus issues.
Yeah, I will take it as an annuity, so they could pay me like $20,000 a week or something like that for the rest of my life.
I do like how Dad was just going, oh, let's get a lot of money. I was like, Dad, I think that all this recorded video of you talking about it probably won't help.
Yep.
Mikey O'Leary says, already shifting my top 10 of the year down a slot because Astro is going right to the top.
I think so.
It'd be like, look, how could the game be bad?
Yeah, that's how I feel right now. Yep.
Like, how could they can't possibly just make a bad game?
Again, it just looks like they know exactly what they have.
Yep. Special Nick says, Astro.
Very excited, Nick.
It is interesting because Astro has definitely already kind of been a little bit of a mascot. I wonder if now the big full-fledged game, if that really becomes the thing where Astro, that's our mascot.
I mean, it's the right call, especially the way they are making it tying all the other PlayStation stuff together with Astro. To me, that's the kind of thing you do when you're deciding once and for all to be like, no, this is the mascot. Everyone from the PlayStation universe knows this character. In fact.
Oh, Grug says, sure, the new Astro Bot game looked good, but I didn't see a Superfly Johnson Astro Bot. And Mezcal Mike is back to get canceled again, probably.
Yeah, probably. Give me some time.
Yeah. I have it coming. Jacob says,
I hate that Superfly Johnson. I'm sorry. I just got to get it on the record. Motherfucker.
We have 2 AI companion friends now.
Yes, I've not
never
had
be
much.
Lonely again.
I've not had much interaction with Makiko yet, but we'll see.
I thought it was incredible that you got transported to ancient Greece, and Dan was like, "It's D&D. You're in Dungeons and Dragons."
I did play for 5 seconds longer because I'm like, I just got to see what this disc does. It's amazing they give you the Daikatana, and it's worthless, and you should be using that disc immediately. My understanding is that changes, but it's I just got this thing. It should rule, and it sucks so bad.
Yeah, they really talked that sword up. You think it'd be cool?
It sucks.
Jacob Bench says, hi, have you caught up in Final Fantasy 14, ready for Doncho? Not quite. I got a few more story things to do, actually, which I have to. The thing is, World of Warcraft has the special Mista Pandaria remix event, and I'm playing that right now, because that's a limited time event, and that's fun. But yeah, Dontro's gonna be here soon, so I gotta get on that. When we have that, we've got Elden Ring DLC popping off soon, so once we're back for Summer Game Fest, there will be some games that I will be playing for sure. T-Bucket23 says, can't be here live, but is Keeley trembling right now that he doesn't have a Summer Game Fest announcement as hype as Astro Bot? Well, he should be.
Yeah, should be trembling in his boots. Absolutely.
I think Keely's gonna have a pretty good show. Actually.
Yeah, me too. It seems like he's got a lot of stuff ready to go over there, so I'm hopeful.
Our Truth says, "Hey, Kid and Krista, what's up? I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed today's Nintendo Direct. We got a brand new standalone Asteroids." That's right, Our Truth.
Yep, it
Very
happened.
exciting stuff.
That's right. It's an RPG now.
Gamefire Kerbiter, our Lincoln member, says Overwatch 2 and Marvel Rivals would beat Concord down anytime, anywhere. Well, we don't know yet. I want to play some Concord.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched people play the Marvel Rivals Alpha. It is hilarious just how Overwatch that game is, down to like the UI, the font choices, and like just like the smallest details are so just straight lifted from Overwatch.
And at a certain point, you could just tell it's like, no, this is a business decision. That's the right move. And it was probably more of a right move several years ago. But it's like, look at that Gundam game. It's very similar, although I think Marvel Rivals is even more shameless.
Mew Medic says, always wanted to play a Nikki game, so I'm so hyped. Yeah, we could all use a Nikki game. Sounds like a good time.
It's finally upon us.
Isaac Clark says, howdy, fellas. I'm currently watching through Seinfeld for the first time, and I'm loving every second of it. What are some of your guys' favorite episodes?
Serenity Now is good.
Yeah. All the ones with George's father are very good. I like the one with the maestro where they have the pool table in the very small room.
Yes,
that's very good.
I like when he turns his son and some other guy into like telemarketers in his garage or something. Yeah,
God, that's good. Yeah, Lloyd. Yeah, with Lloyd. The TCB one, Taking Care of Business, where Kramer goes to work at a place, but he's not actually employed there, but he still shows up every day, and they're just like, okay. And he doesn't, like turns in his reports, and they're like, this is nonsense. It's very good.
Few things can top Soup Nazi, though.
Yeah, I was about to say, Soup Nazi
that's a classic.
Is probably still the best episode. I know that's like not a very original one.
Watch some of the banned ones too. I think there's one banned one. The Puerto Rican one is actually still very funny.
Yeah. Gosh, there's the one where the Chinese restaurant, the one where they're all in the subway, the one where they're looking for their car in the parking garage. Those are good ones.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, marine biologist.
Yeah.
Yes, he was angry that day, my friend.
I approached the great fish, mammal.
Train.
Whatever.
Next
one here is from Adam GC, who says Monster Hunter looked next gen as hell.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, until you saw the character faces, but I think they know what they're prioritizing in that game.
The monster faces. Yeah, that's what matters. Yeah.
Although, the monsters looked good.
You saw her?
The character faces, I was going to say, I did notice some reactions in the chat when they showed the monster mommy, or I think, is that what you guys are calling them?
I tweeted about it.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, the MM.
There's a monster mommy?
Who can say who was reacting to that in the chat? Who can say?
think the guilty might be among us right now.
Who could say?
There were several of the Awuga Tex Avery wolves in chat and stuff when she came on screen. So some faces people are big fans of.
Tell me I'm wrong, Jeff. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I was also a fan.
I just Googled monster mommy, and I probably shouldn't have done that. All right, next one here is from B. Diddy. Says, hope you feel better soon, Grubb.
Yeah, man, it's getting worse, actually, so we'll see.
Have you taken it out of the room?
No, I mean, it's. Do you really think it's just sitting there? It's going to be... Okay, I'll take it out of the room. Fuck.
Yes, take it out of the room and maybe wipe things down with
I'm going to wipe things down, but it's... Yeah.
Disinfectant thing or something, all right.
At this point, I'm also actually sick.
I'm sure. Phil Mayasup says, dogs, is our education system failing? Why did Jeff's followers think May only has 28 days in it? Also, Astro, finally a real first party game. I mean, it's just that Jeff, told them what was happening, and they, children wanted it now, to the point where when it didn't happen now, they're like, well, I guess it's not happening. There's other people who are just weird about Jeff and think that everything he says is a lie, even though it's almost always true, or it's just something got changed internally. The one time he was wrong about something was the Wind Waker thing, which was my fault for getting confused and mixed up about something, and then Jeff just didn't want to break my heart, so he went along with it. So Jeff's always right, actually. So 1 versus 100 didn't happen, like Jeff said, because they canceled it.
Yeah,
because they're not doing it anymore.
Yes, exactly.
Well, they were.
Yep.
Metroid Prime. He said it was going to happen, that one year, And then it happened the next year. Well, because they delayed it internally. That's why those kinds of things happen all the time. Of course.
Yep. It was frustrating, mostly just because like I would be like, hey, I'm sad that Bill Walton just died. And then the responses would be, where's the showcase? And I'm like, I would actually probably fight you right now if you were here. It's kind of, it was getting pretty sick of it at that point.
I did enjoy you stunting on them though. They announced it. Oh,
Yeah.
it was good.
And it's like,
good.
I do realize like Twitter like unlocks that in me because I would never like do that really on the podcast all that much because it's like, that's not really my personality. But on Twitter, it's so easy just to like fire it off. And it was
So good.
fun. I'm glad it was a good time. Most people appreciate it.
Burrito says is May over tweet might be the new it's gonna be May. I've been laughing at that for days. You see the new banner for our gaming leaks.
I did see that. That was very funny. Yeah, that is where I know like, there's a couple people on that. It's very few people, so and I recognize that more people enjoyed that tweet than did not by far. But people are like, man, he was insulting fans. And I'm like, just know how many days are in May, please. That's all I'm asking.
Also, who cares?
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm insulting the fan.
Yeah. Come on, and it's like just
What are you talking about?
right. God.
Insulting the fans. Connor Wood says, release the shadow, says, fuck cut Sega.
Did you see this?
What? No.
Apparently, there's like hours of footage of, I guess, the voice actor for Shadow. I didn't look at it too closely. I think I saw a clip, but it's like all the blooper lines are just him saying "fuck" a bunch. So
No.
Okay,
Jason Griffiths said in an interview that apparently they were initially going for an M rating, and so they didn't know if they were going in that direction or if they would go for the E10 that got released.
No way.
So they had him record dual voice lines
For
one
Shadow
was
the Hedgehog.
for Shadow the Hedgehog, where one would be like, what actually got in the game, and the other would be him dropping F-bombs after
That's
that word.
incredible.
Incredible.
Okay, no, I am fully on board with the release the fuck cut. That's incredible.
Hey, we're almost halfway through the year of Shadow. How are you feeling about it so far?
I mean, I feel like they could be doing more. I feel like
It's killing me. It's killing him. Can you see him? This is a year of Shadow.
Feels like it's going to be like the fall of Shadow.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Yeah. Bander SN says, I'd pay $70 for this Astro game, but do we think this is $70? I think it will. Look, Returnal was $70. I know they got criticized for it. Well, get criticized for it then, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it should be $70. I think it probably will be $70.
Next one is from Iceman3110 says, thoughts on starting a series out of order? I want to play Uncharted 4, but feel compelled to play 1 through 3 first. One is feeling a bit long and dated so far. I mean, I like playing things in order most of the time just because I am usually pretty immune to like old games feeling old, and I sometimes like the way they feel old. That's bothering you with like Uncharted. Just play Uncharted 4. I think
just
it's
play
fine.
Uncharted 4. Yeah,
there will be a YouTube video with a story synopsis. That'll be good enough for you.
Yeah, and honestly, it's like you play 4 and then you get they do a good job of sort of like hooking you into what's happened so far to get these characters in this position. And then if you are so compelled, you can still go back and you just experience a slightly different order, but all the emotional beats will still work, I promise.
Tyrant says, first 5 secs of Astro, I freaked out thinking it was a Sobi doing a lair. Concord is a waste of that sweet ass logo. I'd rather have the Guardians of the Galaxy team. Yeah, it's a good logo. Kind of a weird name for a sci-fi game. We say Concord. I actually think of something like bird-ish.
Yeah, we had this conversation
right?
before because the Concord plane, and then there's Condors, the bird. Yes, I same thing. I don't think of the grapes, although there's the Concord grapes, but
grapes.
I don't know. You're right. It's a weird name. Logo's very good. I have no idea how to feel about the game. Although you said the Guardians of the Galaxy team, now I kind of want to play that game again. Very different game though.
Michael Kavanaugh gave a super chat without a comment. Thank you so much for the first
Michael.
super chat there. Propaganda Panda says, Grubb, when is the next state of play?
Yeah, look.
Is May over yet?
Yes, May over? Yeah, thank you, Mike. There it is. There was a state of play in the past, and May is still happening. How is that possible?
JD Camp says, will you get a ride photo holding hands? I'm trying to think what rides. Oh, if we do the Cars ride together, we can hold hands on that one. That one does a photo. Tiana won't be open yet, I think, and I'm not riding it. I'm afraid of that drop. How many other rides in Disneyland even do photo ops? really. It's not a ton of them. Maybe cars. Maybe cars will take
Okay, that's fine with me. We'll make it happen. I haven't done that Cars ride.
Thank you for the 20th super chat, by the way, JD Camp.
Wow,
and then
JD.
Kyle Bart with her 5th super chat says, for Jeff, I can't or already have an analog pocket. What's the next handheld you recommend?
Okay, the one I recommend based on experience would probably be the Miu Mini Plus. It is, keep in mind, it's going to be more limited in terms of like compared to some of the other handhelds, but it's very good at what it does. I really enjoy playing Super Nintendo games and previous on there. But the one I'm looking forward to, and the one I would say keep an eye on, is the SP from Anbernic. I can't remember, it's got some other code name, but everyone just calls it the SP. The SP is in the code name, so that you'll be able to find it that way. Mine should be getting here any day now, and I'm so excited. But by all accounts, it's a really well done product, and it looks very cool. And that's another one where it's like, you're probably going to be playing the Game Boy Advance games on there mostly. You can play some other stuff. If you want one that is like Dreamcast and maybe PS2 even, there's a few of those. There's that new Ein Odin, or the newer Ein Odin mini or whatever. I think Anbernic has kind of like a spherical looking one that is apparently pretty powerful as well. I haven't used those. Some of them are pretty expensive. So I would definitely like look at a bunch of videos. And of course, Retro Game Core and Taki Udon. Those are good sources for that sort of thing.
Nintendo Derek says, I was starting to get worried about the state of play might being delayed. So it was good to see the announcement. Even better to see Jeff on Twitter afterwards. Should do that more. Yeah, Jeff, did you ever like have doubts? Because I know for a bit we thought maybe it was going to be on the 28th, and then when the 28th didn't happen, I'm not saying I lost the faith. I was getting a little scared.
Yeah, when this happens, typically what I do is it's like, the 28th, like I hear it from multiple people, and you hear different things. So when the 28th date is like, it's kind of like out there, and that was one of those things where it's like, I guess it could be the 28th, but I'm not hearing it from like these number one primary sources, but stay maybe. What I do is like I check in with everybody, and it's like what happens is what always happens. They're like, look, this thing's still supposed to happen, and I'm like, okay, well, nothing's changed. It's supposed to happen, so it's probably going to happen. That doesn't mean I don't feel nervous. It's like, man, it's going to suck if it doesn't happen. And what am I going to tell people? Like, I got it wrong. It's like, what? No, it's something must have changed, because everyone that knows what they're talking about is telling me something. And then if something changed out from underneath them, that's possible, but that's weird. But it's like, yeah, as far as I could tell, this thing is going to happen. So yeah, that's kind of how I was looking at it, which is why when people were still asking me about it, I wasn't going to fully go out there and explain every little detail about how I'm feeling. But I do the picture of, I didn't hear no bell from Rocky. And it's like, that's how I felt. It's like, it's still May. It's still supposed to happen as far as I know.
That boy Jerry says, should I get this new cheeseburger from Arby's? Usually only go for beef and cheddars. Do I trust the burgers?
They have good burgers.
The burgers are good. Now, Look, like, for me, it was like, it was fun to get once, and now I'm going back to get, like, my Arby's stuff there. But I think you should try it at least once. It's fun. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you might end up liking and go back there more frequently. Yeah. I think I've had it a couple times, but yeah.
It's not going to be bad. You're going to like it. Is it going to become, like, the thing you want to get instead of a beef and cheddar? I don't know, but try something new.
Yeah, I still, my go-to is still just a classic roast beef.
I do like the classic roast beef. They give me a lot of coupons every time I go there, though. So sometimes I use my beef and cheddar coupon, and, like, I can't live like that all the time.
Sure.
But boy, that beef and cheddar, man.
Yep.
That cheese sauce. That is like maybe the best cheese sauce.
Yeah, it's really rich and good.
Good cheese sauce.
Yep.
Ugh.
Kids really like the classic roast beef, so that's their favorite thing from fast food right now.
Jeff, that's it for the super chats for now. Everybody, thank you so much. If you want to send in more super chats, we will read those before the end of the show. We already have hit 100 likes, so I don't have to yell at anybody. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Really appreciate it. Jeff, back to you, sir.
Yep. All right. What we're going to do is we're going to take another break. We're going to get set up for our topic this week, which is going to be Game of the Year 2021. We'll talk about that right after this.
Good break.
All right.
Real quick.
Did you read the one? I thought you skipped one.
We'll check. You go take your break, Mike. We'll let you know when you get back.
Let me know if I blew it.
All right.
Which one is it? Is it Christian?
The one about Uncharted. Sorry, I stood up for.
I think he did. Yes, he did. He did read the one about Uncharted.
It's fine.
Thanks for hanging in with us, everyone, tonight. It's I really am dragging ass at this point. I do not feel good at all.
It just said that he was feeling well. I don't know what that means. Did he want?
Wait,
On
what's?
chat, he should type, "I'm feeling well." AJ Menotti.
Oh yeah, I saw
on
that.
chat,
Yeah, I
he's
saw that earlier. I'm like,
like,
what? Oh, okay. I'm glad to hear that. Like that's
Yeah.
a relief. I was worried. Yeah, I know it in 2 is $300 is correct, Kevin. That's right. But by all accounts, it's also kind of worth that much if that's what you're trying to do with it.
Dude, you hear about Win Later?
Oh.
What is this?
It is so if you've done a deep digging on like Steam Deck stuff, you know how people do the whole bottles thing where you basically have like instanced windows to run specific things that need more from Windows.
Right.
It's that, but on Android.
Ooh.
So you could just straight up run Windows PC games on Android now.
That's okay. That's exciting.
Yeah,
Man,
it's really impressive. You gotta go with older games to start with. Like people are showing like Fallout 4, but you know, since Fallout 4 is a thing people are going back to right now, it looks kind of impressive, even if it is, you know, was like 8-year-old game or whatever it is. Even that is impressive to be running on like an Android handheld.
Yeah. Have you guys like seen this Takudon Mr. stuff?
Oh, dude, I meant to ask you about that the other night. I'm so excited about this.
If all of this happens the way that they claim it's going to happen, that is buck wild.
Yeah.
So people don't know there's the Mr. project, which uses Intel subsidized FPGA boards. What is it? The Cyclone 3 or something like that?
Something like that. An Altera Cyclone.
Yes. And those things are very expensive, even when they're subsidized by Intel. Apparently, Takudon, who is based in China, is going directly to these manufacturers, being able to source these parts for a lot less money, and is promising to do stuff like a Mister equivalent, a handheld Mister, and then this other thing that is like this premium console version that will be like a Mister, what is the thing you have, the 5X upscaler, Mike? What do you have?
RetroTink.
It'll be a RetroTink, and it'll be a cart like uploader as well, so you'll be able to get data off a cart.
So it all starts. Yeah, it all starts at this $100 Mr. clone. So it will be the same parts effectively.
And the Mister's like $400 basically.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
The same parts, but for like $100, and then scales up from there. Apparently, they're targeting for the handheld. That's even got a video out. So Switch like Analog Pocket like for $150.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be able to do everything the Mister can, but in a handheld.
Crazy.
Did I miss anything? Did I miss the super chat?
No. We got it. It was the Uncharted one.
Yeah.
Did we What was the first year where Game Mess did pick a game of the year? Is this the last one we're doing? Did we do one in 2022? I feel like we did.
I think we did. I can't remember.
Yeah.
When did you guys switch over? Because Jeff hits 2 years at GB.
Yeah, it was 2022
this year, so it would be 2022.
Yeah.
Yep. That's right.
Okay,
This is the last one. Yeah.
This is it.
Okay, cool. All right.
But they could put them all together later.
And then we cancel the fucking podcast after now.
It's all been leading to this.
You get the scene sap, Jeff?
No, let me do that right now.
Yeah. Sorry, Mike. We started talking about tech.
I knew it. I got back and Jeff got going on something. I was like, I'm distracted.
It's very exciting.
You see the way his eyes light up. That's why we do it for him.
Yeah,
You
thank you guys.
tonight.
I appreciate it. You get
Talking
me.
about handhelds again. Shit.
That's why you need to buy another handheld, and then you're gonna be like,
needs
then you'll feel better.
Energize you.
God, I wish you just lived here so I could just have you go see my dad and have him give you antibiotics and steroids.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Want to just come in?
Kind of.
That?
I kind of do, yes. Where's the scene?
everybody's getting
There it
sick.
is.
My friends are getting sick too.
I don't know how I'm not sick.
Oh, don't
Yeah,
say
my
that.
seasonal allergies are flaring up
There's
too.
something weird going around here too. It's like
my
a
God.
weird flu. Go, it's another one. Let's do this Electric Boogaloo.
I've already found an unhinged game to talk about for 2021.
Oh, good. Love to hear it.
All right.
All right.
Is it Metro Prime?
I'm gonna maybe let the community bring it up first. No, it's not Metric.
I think there's one where I don't think the community has brought it up yet, so I'm curious to see if you guys even remember it.
Okay. Oh wow, this game came out.
By the way, this annoys me so. Jeff will know what I'm talking about. On the Wikipedia page, I always bring up the Wikipedia page for blank year in gaming when you guys do these things. They always refer to it as iOS and Droid, and it drives me up the
Insane.
fucking wall.
That's not
You
cool.
can tell it's an iPhone user maintaining that page.
It's like that was Motorola. What are you talking?
Like 2009,
and not a going concern.
Nope.
Crazy. Just baffling.
That's nuts.
All right, let's see. There we go.
We're doing 2000
2021.
21.
Oh, 21. I'm sorry. I
Right.
think this game came out in 2020. Never mind.
Let's
Somebody posted a video.
see.
It confused me.
Okay, I'm gonna bring us back in. You ready?
All right.
I'm
do
ready,
this.
sir.
All right, we are back. Been a good show so far, but now it's time to determine once and for all what is the best game of 2021. I'm surprised no one's thought to do this yet. We are the first ones to figure out the game of the year of 2021, but we're going to hop in there. What we do is, me and Mike throw a bunch of games into a list. We cut it down to 5. Yeah, 5, right?
That's right.
And then we rank them. And we're going to do all of that. We also get help from the podcast producers in the Discord. We'll check in on them here as well here pretty soon. But Mike, where do you want to start?
I think I'm going to start with Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
It's a good place to start.
Yeah, I mean, I talked about this earlier, and yeah, I like 3D platformers. I think that this game is super, super neat. The things it was doing with all of the portals, that's a fun trick, especially when it's doing these moments where you're kind of going through them multiple times and you're going to different areas. I remember there's a boss fight in the middle where the boss is kind of sending you through these things, so the boss arena is just constantly changing. But just, Ratchet and Clank always feels good, and this one also feels really slick. You've got some fun new characters here. Even some of the minigame things, like the little hacking thing you're doing with that little robot shooter stuff, was a lot of fun. A gorgeous, gorgeous game. I'm a big fan of Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Probably still my favorite PS5 game at the moment. Great stuff.
Yeah, I feel the same way about Ratchet and the Clank. And the Clank.
And the Clank.
And the Clank. Yeah, it is. I remember getting this for review, sitting down to play it, and just not stopping basically until I finished it, because it's such a fun ride. Really an ideal action platformer where you do want it to feel like a roller coaster. There is some like exploring the levels, but not so much, because it's like, that's not necessarily the strength, but it's also very far from being a weakness. It's not what I'm saying. It's just, it knows what it does best, and it gives you a ton of that stuff, which is just like these great set pieces, awesome animation, great looking weapons, great looking enemies, and like really well detailed worlds. Yeah, just a big fan of Ratchet and Clank.
Great stuff.
All right, let's see here. I will go with Metroid Dread.
Yeah.
Which is just a game I think about constantly. I think that this was such a great job of recapturing what we want from 2D Metroid games, where it is it is that exploration. It is this great escalation of abilities. It moved so well. It felt so good. It also just nails characterization for a game that like doesn't it doesn't overdo it. It like barely does it at all. It just is so strategic with deploying these character moments that they hit really hard. And then it has one of the best sort of like final acts of a game ever, where just in these final moments, everything is solved, everything comes together. You're more powerful than ever for really great reasons. It's just awesome.
Yeah, the boss fights are just so good. The abilities are so fun to this one. Even just like that slide feels great. The parry, which comes back from the Metroid 2 remake,
yes, Samus Returns,
actually awesome. That little blinking move that you can do, the stuff with avoiding those evil robots, the Emmys, it's very tense and it feels great. And a fantastic game to play through multiple times. Like I played through it 4 or 5 times, like in a row, just unlocking all those different like end card sequences, because there's like, here's the Super Metroid one, and here's the Metroid Fusion one. Such a fantastic game. Like my only nitpicky things, like I wish the music was a bit better because it's Metroid, but that's it. I love the setting too. I love that it was very kind of Chozo ruined focus and kind of like science lab focus. I thought that the vibe stood out. It wasn't just more like kind of dark caves, which sometimes Metroid can devolve a little bit too much into. This game had a vibe all of its own.
Yes.
Fantastic stuff.
Yep, kind of just talking about it makes me want to play it again, which I know is what makes it one of my favorite games of all time. That's what happens with those kinds of games. All right, what else, Mike?
Keeping up with my I remember this being a good year for 3D platformers, and I thought Psychonauts 2 is a game that really delivered, and it could have been a game that didn't, right?
Yeah.
like long-awaited sequel to a beloved game with a bunch of Kickstarter money or FIG or whatever it was, kind of stuff behind it, right? And of course, Microsoft at this point was involved, but this game came out and really delivered. I think it's better than the first in just about every way. The platform feels good. It's a very unique looking game. They have the psychic abilities all feel fun. The story even rolls at a great pace. I think they over delivered with Psychonauts 2 in a really satisfying way.
Yeah, I somehow I forgot that you were a big Psychonauts 2 mark. I didn't remember that. I'm glad to hear it though. I also really like Psychonauts 2. I don't know. I think I actually did go back and ended up beating that game. I think I had a really bad problem where it was causing my Xboxes to crash in one scene.
Fun.
Yeah, and like no matter what I did, it kept crashing. So I sort of had to, I think I went to go then play it on PC and like get past that area, and that fixed it. But yeah, Psychonauts 2 is just really well put together. It's like, it's fun to play, and then it has all of the great Tim Schafer stuff of excellent writing, great characters, and that stitches the whole world together. I think next for me would be Hitman 3.
Oh God, really? That's this year's shit.
Yes, I remember that launched in like January of that year, I believe. You could double check on that. I think that's 2021. Yeah, because we didn't do it for 2020.
I think you're right. It has to be. Yeah, I think it is this year. Yeah, it's a 2021 for sure. January, so it was early. But
right, it was early. I do remember it launching in January and like being very excited about that. Like have something awesome early in the year. Hitman 3 is, this is the Hitman game we're still playing today because this is where they brought it all together. They eventually made it all one big Hitman platform, but the levels in Hitman 3 are fantastic. The improvements they made to like, how mirrors work and stuff like that. It is like one continual sort of improvement from Hitman 2 to Hitman 3. But this one is like, there's a reason this is like, hey, we figured it all out. We can bring everything into the Hitman 3 engine now and sort of let it live there. And now you can do that. And it's this massive experience, this awesome playground. And yeah, it's, honestly, if I were to think about any game that I'm going to be playing for the rest of my life out of these games from this year, it probably will be Hitman 3.
The Dartmouth level, huh?
Yeah. Yes.
The mansion.
Yes. The mansion, sort of, coming out of Knives Out and then getting that level and realizing that they made some references to that movie in the level where there's just that baseball sitting outside the window. That's very fun, but just the level itself is so clever, so well designed, such an awesome play. And that's, the joy of Hitman is having this complicated, like, moving clock tower sort of thing experience, and then figuring out how it works, and then completely decompiling it and figuring out how you could mess around with it in some new and novel ways. And that level was ideal for that.
Yeah, it's man. I mean, those Hitman games are just so good that there's kind of three of them, but also kind of one game, right? Yeah. So sometimes a little like weird there. This game's like that final level is a little weird.
Correct.
The train thing. Train thing is a little weird.
Little weird. Probably the kind of thing where I get why that happens when they have gone from publisher to publisher, and then we're kind of doing stuff on their own. Probably had to like wrap things up in a way to save budget. The real final level, the one before that, that's the Argentinian level, right, Christian? You would
the vineyard?
Yes,
the vineyard.
That level is amazing.
Rules.
Some really great level. Like some great story moments when you play through that in the story campaign, and there's just so much happening in that stage. It's incredible.
Halo Infinite was 2021.
Yeah, I was going to mention if you didn't.
I still really like this game, and I still understand that some people had some problems with like the season passes and the cadence of content. I'm still always confused how that turned into, actually, that's a bad game, because I thought that the campaign was a lot of fun. I loved the open world stuff they're doing. I thought the grappling hook felt great. The shooting and all of that was still fantastic. The multiplayer was actually a ton of fun playing. We got some big groups together. We were running around some of those like really big team fights.
Yep.
And we had a lot of silly memories every time there. Yeah, I don't know. It's like if people soured on this game for some reason or another, that's fine. But I have basically nothing but good memories with this game, more than I have with any other Halo game, to be honest.
Yep, and that's part of it for me. It's like I am not a Halo guy, and this turned me into quite a bit of one. I was not here for the story. I know for a lot of people, the narrative of Halo is a huge part of it for them. I can't speak to that. All I know is I really enjoyed the campaign. I thought it did a good job of providing like a fun little sandbox to have fun in, to mess around with the tools they give you. I don't think it was like a game of the year experience on its own, that campaign, but it was a strong 4 out of 5 campaign for me at the end of the day. The corridor sections at the end were a little, that's where like it really kind of fell apart for me. But the multiplayer was just fun every time we played it. And I played it as like a kind of a casual multiplayer game where it's like, we'll check in on it every couple of weeks and we'll have a game night. And it was great. Yeah, love Halo Infinite. I think the next one that I would do is, it's tough. I got a couple of options here. I'm like, do I burn this here? And it probably won't make the list because I don't know if you ever played this, but The Forgotten City.
I did play this.
I love The Forgotten City. It is that mystery game where you have to unravel like a murder and you're like in ancient Rome's in a city in ancient Rome that is at the bottom of this pit, and you're taken across this river by this lady named Karen, and you don't really know what's going on.
My mom.
Yes, and you eventually kind of piece everything together in a way that is super satisfying and super cool. And it's not like it doesn't have like a lot of combat, but you like get like a bow and arrow, but it's usually used for solving puzzles as much as it is for anything else. And it's such a cool experience. It was actually started as a Skyrim mod, I believe, and then they built it out to be a standalone game. And they just nailed it. It's kind of the peak of this sort of thing for me, this genre of first-person puzzle-solving, mystery-solving narrative experience.
Don't break the golden rule. I thought it was a really creative game, and I love that kind of Skyrim influence, because it almost does feel like I'm playing the best Skyrim mission ever in some ways.
That's exactly what it feels like, yeah.
Yeah, I never beat it, and I kind of wish I did, but I played a lot of it, and I thought it was super impressive, really creative stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's a few places I can go here. I think I am going to bring up Monster Hunter Rise right now.
Sure.
We're just talking about Monster Hunter. And I liked Monster Hunter World. I did fall off it eventually. I stuck around with Rise even more. I think just because playing it on my Switch, they feel very good. But just, some of those changes to the movement stuff, right? Having that dog mount and the kind of grappling hook stuff, movement felt so good in this game. I loved the kind of more like ancient Japan or feudal Japan, whatever you call it, aesthetics. It was a very pretty game, very good music. The presentation of it all was fantastic. This is probably my favorite Monster Hunter game so far.
I only played a little bit of Rise. I think I only played the demo actually, but I know people love this game, so glad you were able to get it here.
Good stuff.
Okay. There are 2 more I definitely want to mention, so let me start with this one. I'll go with Return of the Obra Dinn, which I think is a miracle game. It was awesome that we got this and Forgotten City in the same year. This was the year for Return of the Obra Dinn, right? I believe it was.
Why do I feel like that was brought up last year? I'm going to make sure.
So was that last year? Yeah, maybe that
may have been last year, Jeff.
It was 2018, dude.
Oh, really? Okay. So I'm
not even close.
Okay, well, who could say with time?
Did you check, or do you just going by your heart?
I'm like looking at a list of games, but this must have been like some console release or something. Okay, that helps, because it's like that would be hard to like. I would have to knock off some stuff for that, and it would be a fight with you. Let's see here. Good. All right. Then Guardians of the Galaxy.
There we go. That's where I thought you were going.
Yes. I was not going to let the thing go by without mentioning that. Guardians of the Galaxy is one that surprised me. I think I was, in fact, I just had dinner with Barrett Courtney the other night, and we mentioned that, like, when that game trailered, him and I were both like, this looks like shit. This looks terrible. I hate everything about, like, that this game's trying to do. Why'd they waste their time on this? And then I ended up playing it. And it just won me over, like, slowly and steadily. I think that it is a strong characterization game where the team building is really good. There's this connection between all of them. They're constantly fighting, but you can tell that they really care about one another, and that stuff does usually get me. It's not like the most mechanically interesting game, but it does what it needs to do to sort of get you through that story in a way that you always feel like you're engaged in it, and there's always something fun to do. And it's also got a lot of scenes where it's like, you're this character, you're walking through a space that they're familiar with, and there's a ton of stuff to look at and sort of like build out like your understanding of these people. And I appreciate that. They did a really good job with that.
Yeah, I think this game's legacy kind of speaks for itself, because this is a game that feels like nobody should have cared about or ever wanted to talk about past it coming out, and now this is a game everybody looks back fondly on. I think it's going to kind of stick around because of that for a long time. There's going to be a legacy with this one. It's kind of impressive stuff, because there's everything going against this game, and in some ways it did go against it when it came to sales, kind of paid for the sins of the Avengers game in a lot of unfair ways. Part of that was the fault of its own marketing, for sure. There's a lot to like in this game, especially, the combat is good, but it's really about that writing, that characterization that was super strong. It Takes Two is kind of another one on this. Hey, this is a good year for 3D platformers train, because that's basically what it is. It is a co-op 3D platformer, and it is really clever with that stuff, with the mechanics and the level design. Like, there's always sections like, hey, the one character has like a nail gun, and the other character has a hammer. It just kind of things like that. Some of the writing is a little bit obnoxious for sure, but the gameplay feels very good. This is still one of the most fun co-op experiences that I think you can actually have. This is the one that won the Game Awards that year.
Yes, it is.
By the way, and I wasn't that upset about it. I was like, no, that is actually
I know
a
you're
very
a big
good
fan
game.
of It Takes Two. Yeah, I know you really like that
It's
game.
super fun. Someday we'll do our playthrough of it.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
we'll do it. Yeah, absolutely. I still have not played it though, personally. Do you want to take it to the podcast producers now, or do you have any others you want to make sure we mention before we go?
Before we go, I want to make sure this year, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury was the other 3D platformer this year. That was this year. That took 3D World, which was a game that I liked fine, but I was like probably in the bottom of my tier list for 3D Mario platformers. And with just a few changes, speeding up a little bit, adding like a move or two from Odyssey in here, and I suddenly loved the 3D World campaign. It's like one of the most fun Mario experiences I ever had. And then Bowser's Fury is a super fun, just kind of test of like what a more open world Mario would feel like.
But a full game in its own right.
It's a full game. It's like like 4 hours instead of like 8, I guess. But it is a full game.
Man, that's how long it would take to be like an old 2D Mario for sure. Yeah.
All this interesting level design. Gosh, just fantastic stuff. I love 3D World and Bowser's Fury, even if it got me put in Nintendo jail.
Oh, I was about to ask that. This was the one, wasn't it?
Yeah,
This
the
is
cat
it.
shines.
Apparently, I've been in Nintendo jail for 3 years now or so.
Oh my
Yep,
god,
there it
it's
is.
horrible.
With no end in sight. You don't need to know how long your sentence is going to be
It's just sad.
in Nintendo jail. All right. So we have Ratchet & Clank, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Hitman 3, Halo Infinite, The Forgotten City, Monster Hunter Rise, Guardians of the Galaxy, It Takes Two, and Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. I will get over to the podcast producers right now.
There's a few I'm thinking of, but I'm going to see if the podcast producers bring them up.
Can you put Final Fantasy 14 Endwalker just for me?
Sure.
Sure. I didn't bring it up. Endwalker is another very good expansion. It's not quite as good as... You like it more than Shadowbringers?
I think Shadowbringers is a better expansion, like as a game overall, but I like more Endwalker.
I understand that. Endwalker has a very satisfying ending. There's a lot of fun stuff there.
All right, let's see. Almost ready. There we go.
We're almost ready.
All right. Here we go. Podcast producers.
We'll see. Oh, God.
There's Doomino Crossing with one of the best shots from Metroid Dread. God, this moment ruled. Very, very good game.
I know we're not really thinking about 2D Metroid right now because we're all wondering about the Metroid Prime remasters and Metroid Prime 4. But boy, I sure do hope that we do just get a sequel to Dread from that same team. That game was amazing. Like Metroid 6, right?
Yeah, I mean...
Metroid 6, I need it.
It wouldn't be impossible that there's like a sequel ready to go, but it's the kind of thing where it's like, they would probably do... Well, I don't know. Yeah, they would probably do that on the next Switch and just like let that happen at like 2025, 2026, which would be fine with me. Jackie G says that Neo, The World Ends With You, I believe.
Yeah, I don't know why. I love the original World Ends With You, and this one did nothing for me.
Yeah, I don't ever hear many people talking about it. This one, I'm not surprised it didn't take long. Freedom McLiberty Bell says Lady Dimitrescu, or specifically Resident Evil Village.
Resident Evil 8 is very good. A lot of fun stuff there. Some of it feels like a lot of really good parts that maybe don't super come together
maybe
into
that's
this
what I feel
one
about it too,
incredible,
yeah.
memorable experience. Like Lady Dimitrov's castle is great, and maybe that should have been the whole game. There's some other kind of neat areas, but yeah, it doesn't quite become top tier Resident Evil, but still very good. This is definitely still Capcom in its kind of swagger era.
Yep, best mommy of 2021 without a
Best,
doubt.
yeah. I mean, where people are still talking about this character.
Yeah,
and
we get it.
to a point where if I think they really knew what they had there, again, she would just be the main villain, and the whole game would have been about her.
Yep. Mr. Bowler says Psychonauts 2. Dr. Ryan also says Resident Evil Village with a picture of Lady Dimitrescu. Tommy Pencil says The Forgotten City.
Nice.
Right there with you. Nick Turbo says Persona 5 Strikers.
This is one I did actually want to bring up because this game really surprised me. I thought it was just going to be another kind of dumb Muso spinoff, and Persona 5 Strikers is almost like Persona 5
Right, it's got
2.
a lot more than that. It's not just a Muso, yeah.
And I mean, it's not even that much of a Muso. Like, yeah, there are a lot of enemies. It's really just more of an action RPG with
Right.
a lot of enemies. And there's a little bit of that Muso stuff in it, but it doesn't feel like when you're playing Hyrule Warriors, that's like, oh, well, this is the Zelda version of Dynasty Warriors. This still feels mostly like Persona than anything else. It's just, again, real-time action instead of turn-based. And it's a sequel story and all that stuff. I was surprised how much of a game this was, I suppose.
Right.
It's very good.
All right, let's see here. Mex says Endwalker from Final Fantasy
There it is.
14. Yep.
Good poster there for Endwalker. We got Dawn Trail just a month or so now. Jeez.
Not long at all. Low Rule says Metroid Dread. God, those boss fights with those cutaway action sequences were so good.
God, I want Ravenbeak, right? I want him for Smash so bad.
Oh, that would
He's
rule.
such a good Smash Brothers character. I'd be so happy.
It was Inscription 2021? Joy Z mentions that it is after Mike came for Outer Wild, Return of the Obra Dinn, Outer Wilds. The Backstab Zone for is that Final Fantasy VII?
That's Sean being shocked that I took out Final Fantasy VII
That is
remake.
you single-handedly keeping some of my favorite games of all time out of these lists.
I have not played Inscription. So I don't know how you feel about it, Jeff.
I like it a lot, but if anyone remembers, they probably don't, because many of you probably weren't listening then. For our GameSpeak Game of the Year, I took Inscription off our list and replaced it with Guardians of the Galaxy.
I can remember that.
I like Inscription a lot. I do, but it did not become my everything the way it did with some people.
Look at how happy I am to murder these games.
The bodies keep piling up.
I love Jeff protecting Outer Wilds.
Yeah, no, it's mine.
That's good.
He tried, though. He definitely tried. Alex Agogo says Hitman 3. Yep.
Yeah.
God,
Gotta like those games.
I like that logo, too.
I hope we hear about that 007 game soon. I'm looking forward to it, but also so that we can release that game and then maybe make another Hitman.
Yeah, if it has really been since 2021 since their last game, I know they did a lot of updates.
It's wild that Hitman 3 has been that old now because I could just play that now.
Oh yeah,
it's
gonna be timeless for me. Ogdo says incredible soundtrack, favorite series. It's The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles.
Yeah, this game, they just recently had some kind of sales milestone for this game. It's something like it's millions, which is really impressive for this. These are fantastic Ace Attorney games that we finally got localized here. That was really exciting. I'm so glad that they did this, and I'm so glad it found success. I think it was the success of this that kind of really cemented Ace Attorney as something of a forever franchise for Capcom. They're going to always do stuff with Ace Attorney. I wouldn't be shocked if Ace Attorney 7 gets announced before the end of the year. What a fantastic series in that. These are very good games.
Bench JC also says Final Fantasy 14 Endwalker. Barf Spackle says Hitman 3. Chaos Buckaroo says Road 96. I don't know if I know what that is.
I vaguely remember, but I didn't play it.
Paper Mario Wolf 5 says Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
There we go.
Villain Mac says Halo Infinite. God, yeah, man, just great physics. That's going to go a long way for a shooter like this.
Good grapple hook.
Yeah, great.
Was that the year? Weren't we calling it the year of the grapple hook? Were there other games with grapple hooks?
There were other years that were also year of the grappling hook as well. So
right.
This was definitely a good year of that. Big Tony, the Final Fantasy guy, says Shin Megami Tensei 5.
Not enough heart.
Yeah, I think it's my biggest complaint about that game.
Yeah.
Alex says Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Vision 49 says Death's Door. which me and Mike are both guilty of not loving like others.
Yeah, we were kind of famous Death Doors haters.
I tried. I just don't like it. I'm sorry. I don't know what it is.
I don't know why. It seems like something I would like. I was
Same. I don't get it. Teriyaki Blues says Age of Empires 4. I should have spent more time with Age of Empires 4.
It's kind of weird. Yeah, I don't think I spent a second with it. I'm somebody who used to like Age of Empires, and then this came out, and it kind of just missed me somehow. And people liked it. People liked it.
It's pretty good. I really like this one. I played a lot of it.
Tell you what,
the online was pretty good.
It does remind me of that. This is like not like some super tease because it's not a game anyone's going to know. But I saw something in a pre-brief. Mike, remind me after the show to tell you because I'm excited about it. It looks really good.
Okay. The Ridge Racer.
It's not Ridge Racer. I'm sorry, bud.
Shit.
Screaming Madden says, I'm pretty sure this is a reference to. Well, there's Madden, but I think it's a reference to Chicory. I guess the Chicory
sure? With the turducken end zone.
Yeah, I think it's like just like coloring right as the dog from Chicory, but it's a Madden background.
This was Giant Bomb's Game of the Year, right?
That's right. Chicory was Giant Bomb's Game of the Year because they did not want to give it to what were the games, Christian? You remember? It was
fuck.
People were arguing about something else. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember. Yeah, I can't remember exactly what it was. Man, that was. Hey, yeah, Chicory, good game. A shout out to you. Maybe it was Madden they didn't want to give it to. Resident Evil Cryorsis says Endwalker.
I'm sorry, man. There's a lot of Endwalker love in here. Good on everyone.
Daniel says Inscription with a very good gif. Hasp says Halo Infinite. Shiomiro says Pokemon Unite.
Oh, that was kind of
remember
fun.
that.
Yeah, the MOBA.
If I could, if I like had an infinite time on John Bomb, I would do a show where it's like, I'm going to set up a game, not tell a person what it is and what we're playing and just play it. And then just have an episode where it's like, all right, Jam, we're playing Pokemon Unite. Surprise. Here we go. Best of 7. Allie Miracle says, which one is this, Guilty Gear? Or...
That's Guilty Gear Strive. And that's Bridget. Is that right?
Yeah,
Bridget. Or Brisket, as we sometimes call her.
There you go.
Love the brisket. 2 times champ Beef Hammer says, couldn't decide back then either between Metroid Dread or Halo Infinite. Both are great games.
Good year for space armor.
Yes, absolutely. One day they should put a woman in one of these suits. I don't know. Bear says Inscription, which a lot of fun secrets in there.
What?
Yeah.
What kind of game is Inscription?
Ostensibly, it's a card game.
I thought it was this card game, but nothing I'm seeing is like
right. That's the whole thing. Is like there's a table where you're supposed to go play cards with an old man, and then you could stand up from that table and look around the little cabin that you're in and start messing with stuff. And there's like, hey, a little locked door. I wonder what I could do if I got in there. And then the game changes, that sort of thing. Hey, people should play Inscription. I think it's been on some like services.
I think I have gotten it off a sale. Like I have it. I'm ready to try it eventually, but haven't gotten there yet.
Wiesman says The Artful Escape. I didn't play this, but I know some people really like it.
Yeah, I think I played it at like a show somewhere, like a demo. I remember it was neat.
Lee Woo says Endwalker. There's another one for you, Mike.
Endwalker I love. Oh my goodness.
Matt in the Big City says his favorite game is Nintendo Jail. Might be a reference to Bowser's Fury.
Well, you can't just say how many cat signs are in the game like that. That's wild.
100 right there. Nolan says Guardians of the Galaxy, a game that I actually think looks really good too. Yeah,
it's a pretty game.
It's a pretty game. Willow Davis says what I believe is Endwalker.
That's Monster Hunter Rise.
Oh, Monster Hunter Rise. Okay, listen.
You know what? I could see it though. If it, that would be more of a Stormblood thing. But
okay, sure.
Yeah.
Plumbers don't wear hentais, says Bowser's Fury, with an image here that says, how many cat shines are there?
Apparently 100. I forgot.
I wonder if I want this image says it's from Nintendo Wire. I wonder if this is like them like quoting you. And like you, yeah.
Was it? Oh, I'm gonna look it was. Up now. Yeah, they didn't help me, Nintendo Wire.
Bopper Mario says Forza Horizon 5. I'm surprised it took someone this long to mention that. I like Forza Horizon 5 a lot.
Yeah, it does. Oh god, yeah, that's a real story. But imore.com has it. Some lucky people have already gotten to preview the game and have noted that there are a total of 100 cat shines to collect. Yeah, lucky people.
Lucky. They have no idea how lucky.
Have the luckiest son of a bitch there ever was.
Adam sleeps. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, what was that?
Well, you asked me a question. I'm sorry.
I was trying about Forza Horizon 5.
Oh, but no, yeah, it's Forza. Was that the last Forza Horizon, the Mexico one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so. Yes.
I remember liking it and also being like a little bit. All right, let's find something to juice this up a little bit at this point.
Yep. Yeah. Listen, it was the Crew Motorfest, of course.
Crew Motorfest is a very underrated game. I think.
I know.
I think that's a fun game.
Adam Asleep says Monster Hunter Rise. Breadfish says.
That's Shin Megami Tensei 5.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, Shin Megami Tensei 5. There we go. Lenny Cool Controversy Dick Denver says Bowser's Fury. God, that is a good game. T Money OG says Endwalker. Sludge
Walker. Why aren't I not playing Final Fantasy 14 with all these people?
I don't know. Yeah, you got to set up.
Are they all in Venco?
They might all be in Venco, yes.
I'm in Venco.
Sludge Reinhold says Inscription. Vanderlyle says Sludge Life, another one I know people like, but I've never touched. Jedi Must 4 says Halo Infinite. Symbiosis says Guilty Gear, I believe.
That is Guilty Gear.
Warden Cliff says Lost Judgment. You guys ever play this?
No, but I want to.
Me too.
Because I like lawyer shit.
Me too. And this is the second one too, right? So there's Judgment and Lost Judgment.
Judgment then Lost Judgment, and they're both Yakuza spin-offs.
Already making those.
These
pretty
games
quickly.
never came out to PC, don't they? Because they have a weird thing with the protagonist.
Yes, because of like weird, the weird control that some of those people have over those stars in Japan. Toshi says Forza Horizon 5. Specifically the Fast X crossover with the game. Boomer needs a cool new nickname, says Unpacking. You ever play that?
No, I bet I'd like it.
Dan Fiasco says Disco Elysium, the final cut. Right. That would have been that happened this year.
Definitive edition version of
it had voice acting and stuff, and it came out on console. So I bet a lot of people did finally play it that year. This is a game I think about going back to a lot right now. I never finished it, and I enjoyed what I played of it. I kind of wish I would have just beaten it. I
need to play it finally eventually.
Right. I'm like, we should find a reason, just like maybe it could be a Game of the Month club or whatever. Nick says Psychonauts 2. Adam GC says It Takes Two. Clink says Ratchet and Clank. So does Lausian.
So many good 3D platformers this year, man. I love it.
Hammond of Texas says Chivalry 2.
This is a fun game. I think it's going on sale. It's gonna have a free weekend or something like that soon.
We should do UPF with Chivalry.
Yeah, people would like playing this game. It's a fun one.
Always Be Clothing /Corgi says Guardians of the Galaxy. Hell yeah. Laser Wolf says Hitman 3. Wong Gift says The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. JD Camp says Death Stranding. Was that this year?
Might have been Director's Cut
version.
Yeah, that's
Director's Cut might have been that year.
Fluffy Cloud Gamer says Chicory, the real game of the year, you cowards. And then Turbo Sean says, I think this is also Guilty Gear.
What? Yes, that's Biken.
Wow. Okay. Well,
that's our intro, Jeff. That's so sick.
Yeah. No, it's fantastic. I'm very enthralled.
So, man, look, hey, I know me and you kind of are mid on Returnal. I'm surprised that nobody brought up Returnal. I thought people liked that game. They always told us how much they liked it.
It is a good game. It's just not a great game. It really just isn't. It is. If they do a Returnal 2, I bet I'm going to love the hell out of that game because they know what the shortcomings of that game were. They knew that it like does not match up to the best in the genre like Hades. And so the next time they will, and it's going to be really, 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 really good. But what they had there was a strong foundation. But there's a reason no one mentioned it, I think.
Let's make sure we consider Inscription because a ton of people brought that one up.
Yes, and I like Inscription a lot.
Yeah. Couple other ones I'm surprised nobody mentioned. I mean, not surprised, but I just want to mention. Whatever. I thought that Diablo 2 Resurrected was a very good remake of one of my favorite PC games. So that was a ton of fun. In 2021. I think it's like easy to already forget that happened because Diablo 4 was not very long after that. But Diablo 2 Resurrected, super good. And nobody brought up Honey Pop 2 Double Date.
Honey Pop 2 Double Date.
That game's too difficult, Mike. They need to...
they're not good. Yeah.
It doesn't appreciate its core competencies. Did Cruise and Blast come out this year?
Jesus Christ. I thought you were going to miss it.
Cruise and Blast is a lot of fun. It is, it's the best of that kind of racer, which is it mostly plays itself, but it's a really fun roller coaster ride. I would recommend that to any like family looking for a racing game that everyone in the family can have a good time with. Okay. We have 5 slots. We have a lot more games than that. Once again, that's Ratchet and Clank, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Hitman 3, Halo Infinite, The Forgotten City, Monster Hunter Rise, Guardians of the Galaxy, It Takes Two, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker, Inscription, Diablo 2 Resurrected, Honey Pop 2 Double Date, and Cruisin' Blast.
Okay.
I'll get rid of Cruisin' Blast if you get rid of Honey Pop.
Deal.
Okay. Tellman leaves it. All right, there we go.
Yeah. Shout out to Lola, though.
Oh, of course, yes. Also, who's also in Cruisin' Blast. All right, Mike. Do we have any like sure things? There's a couple that I'm like feel like probably are, but what do you think?
I think Metroid Dread and Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and you know you're going to put that subtitle on there for me. I think those are the 2 that are absolutely locks to me.
Apart.
I don't know what order, honestly.
Yeah, I'm just throwing them up there for now. I will adjust this. There we go.
There's there's a lot where I'm like, yeah, that could be there. That could be there. That could
Yes,
be there.
that's how
That
I
could
feel
be there.
exactly. Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guess which one do you feel most strongly about next?
I honestly, most strongly is probably Hitman 3. It's Hitman 3. And then it's like Bowser's Fury and Guardians of the Galaxy and The Forgotten City after that and Halo Infinite after that. I don't know. What are you thinking?
I mean, Hitman 3, sure. There's like a part of me that's like, oh, wow, we love Hitman again. Because sometimes it is one. It's like I feel like I'm giving a trophy to the same game for the third time in a way.
We could listen. It doesn't, like I said, I feel strongly. That's just how I feel. But we can it's not locked.
Disagree.
It's not locked, though, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If we need to drop something to get something else up there, we'll see.
I mean, I do really like Psychonauts 2 and Bowser's Fury. Like, do I want to hold it against Bowser's Fury that it is, like, mostly a enhanced version of a game, but it does have that new campaign? It's hard to say. I want to ask you right now, because, like, so many people felt strongly about Inscription. If you feel strongly about Inscription, then I think it should be there. I just haven't played it, and I don't know.
It's not my top 5 from this year, no.
Okay.
Inscription's very good, but I would rather have Guardians of the Galaxy and Bowser's Fury over it.
And look,
and Forgotten City and Halo Infinite.
And I know a lot of people said Endwalker, and there's like a part of me's like, I don't know if I need to put Endwalker in the top 5.
Yeah, let's like just spare ourselves and not do that and leave a slot open for something else, which, you know, we're leaning towards that for Hitman 3. Let's also do that for Endwalker.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of that kind of same sort of setup there. What do you think? You never played much It Takes Two, huh? So you don't feel super strongly about that one.
Exactly. I have nothing against it, though.
It's very good. It would be on my top 5, but it would be kind of lower in my top 5. So it's like, oh, I guess I care more about Psychonauts 2 than It Takes Two, to be honest.
All right. How about this? Let's move up Psychonauts 2 and Guardians of the Galaxy.
I was just going to say, let's move up Psychonauts 2 and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay. If that's what we're both going to say, then we can just do that. And then
I think that feels right.
And then, of course, we're going to rearrange things, everything that's up there. And now we can have the conversation. Do we want to drop Hitman 3 for something else?
Well, we would drop it for
Bowser's Fury?
Bowser's Fury, It Takes Two. Probably not Halo Infinite.
Probably not.
Probably not Forgotten City.
Forgotten City would be right there for me, but I'm not going to try to force it on there. I like Hitman 3 more, so yeah.
Yeah. I guess I'd rather have Bowser's Fury than it, but not really. I don't know. I could go either way.
You know what? I if I'm being honest, I like the way Bowser's Fury looks on the list when we put it out on like Twitter and stuff. I want that Bowser's Fury deserves to be in the top 5. It's that good. Would that be okay swapping out Bowser's Fury for Hitman 3?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Because you know what? I will say, as much as I love Hitman 3 and I love how it brings it all together, there are some forgettable missions in that one for me. I think like overall,
it's very high
of the
highs
3,
and some lower lows.
Yeah, I think overall it would be in terms of like levels, it might be the weakest of the three when it's all taken into account.
I could see that. There's the ones. I mean, I just really love the Argentinian level, and I really love the mansion.
You're welcome.
Yeah, those are very good.
Thank you, Christian. We appreciate your service. Okay. So then what we have in the top 5 now is Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Metroid Dread, Super Mario 3D World, Bowser's Fury, and Guardians of the Galaxy. Anything from the list left behind that you want to like just give a so long to, or are we good?
I mean, I think they're all great. Monster Hunter Rise and Walker is still a fantastic expansion that really kind of delivered a great experience for Final Fantasy 14 fans. Hitman 3 is fantastic. No, these are all great games. I really want to play. Inscription. I guess a special shout to Forgotten City, which isn't making the list, but for such a quote unquote small game, that was something pretty interesting.
Really special.
You should all play
strong
the Forgotten
for it. Yep.
Wishlist it right now. Pick that one up.
Next day I'll just pick it up. Exactly. When it's like there for $5, you should just get it. All right, Mike. What's number 1?
Either Dread or Rift Apart.
For me, I think it's probably Dread, and then I'm great with Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart at number 2.
I like that.
Okay, great. I honestly, then I'm okay with Psychonauts at number 3. By the way, if that's what you want, if that's what you're feeling, if you have something else, let me know.
No, I think that's right. And then, honestly, I do think Guardians of the Galaxy is number 5. Like I do like it a lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think we put it like number 10 on the GameSpeed list for this reason. So yeah. Okay, this looks right to me. That's okay. So read the top 5 for everybody if we're good.
The top 5 games of the year 2021. And by the way, everybody, I think the last year we are doing this. I think we are now caught up to when Game Mess Decides was just doing this on a yearly basis. So, well, we'll find out what those other years were. We'll put this all together. But top 5. Number 5 is Guardians of the Galaxy. Number 4 is Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Number 3 is Psychonauts 2. Number 2 is Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. And number 1 is Metroid Dread. Oh, baby.
Oh, yeah. All right. There we go. I'm going to post this right now. Let everyone yell at us. I feel like this one will get enough heat. I think there's plenty that we're leaving off here, but I get it.
At least, like, you would think that the platform people can't get mad at us here. We have a pretty good spread of Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo when you look at it.
The platformer people are having a good day, Mike. It's a good day for the platformer people, and we're doing our part on that.
No, the 3D platform people. I meant by platform people, I meant like PlayStation and Xbox.
Oh, okay. Sure. Oh, well, sure. Yeah. Yes, listen.
3D platform people will be happy, for sure. We can definitely see what kind of games we like.
Do the PlayStation platform people really take ownership of Ratchet and Clank? I feel like if they did, that game would have sold better, but hey.
It's weird that they would, and I don't know if the Xbox people take ownership of Psychonauts 2, which... I guess
well,
it came out on the consoles, but
they don't feel like they have many other options. Yeah. So, all right.
I think Psychonauts 2 is the closest they came to winning a Game of the Year award in any recent time. So
that's right. Although they would have said Forza Horizon 5 as well at that time. Yep. Christian, do we need another break, or are we good to just talk about what we've been playing?
Give me one little break.
Sounds good.
Okay.
We'll be right back, everybody. All right. We could bring it right back in if you guys are good.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, I'm good. Let's do it.
All right, we are back. We did our 2021 Game of the Year. We talked about the news. We did the Super Chats. There are more Super Chats, though, Mike. Should we just do that, and then we'll talk about what we've been playing?
Yeah, sure. Let me read some of these new Super Chats here. Chris Quinton says, Jeff, you should go see Mike's dad before your trips. We need you to survive. Love you, buddy, but you are looking terrible.
I feel terrible.
Mikey. Looking sexy as always. Thank you. Cool. Anyways, maybe get your upcoming couch segments fueled by Prime. I don't think I couldn't tell a difference in your appearance.
I think I feel even worse than I look, though. So I need to go to the doctor. I've already decided that's happening.
See a doctor. I mean,
that's happening.
We joke about seeing my dad, and if you want to, you can. It's like a 80-minute drive for him, so it's not like some fun thing.
I'm just going to go to urgent care tomorrow. I've got a really handy urgent care that doesn't cost me really anything, and they've been nothing but really solid. I'm just going to go there tomorrow. I'll be fine, everybody. I appreciate it, though.
Nintendo Derek says, I'm saddened by your response to Road 96, my favorite game of 2021, and one of my favorite indies, period. You should give it a try.
I'm going to give it a try.
Yeah, I didn't mean to be like dismissive of it, but
yeah, it definitely was. I had no idea. I don't actually remember hearing about it, so I will go if I can play it on a Steam Deck. I'll definitely play it right away. Otherwise, maybe I'll find a reason to play it on the PC when I get a chance.
All right, next one here is from Chris Quinn again. Jeff, since it looks like Grubb Katana might be the longest game played yet.
Yeah,
any chance your fellow blighters could DoorDash you good food for proggies? Just any kind of carrot at the end of a long and horrible stick to help.
Look, during Delight Club, I was able to expense some the whatchamacallit, Popeye's chicken. I think that's good. Like when we have a Delight Club, a little reprieve, that's fine. But no, when it's Delight Club, it's down to business of being miserable. That's what that show is.
How are you feeling about segments now? Like, so you've beaten 1 of 4 chapters. Do you think you're going to want to break after chapter 2? Do you want to just push through?
Right now, I feel like if we make progress like we made on the last one, let's just push through. Let's just get it over with. But that could change if the second episode, which by all accounts is supposed to be better, if that also is a miserable slog, then we'll have a different conversation here in a couple of weeks.
Most people made it sound like the game is worse at the beginning, and it seemed like it really peaked at that more crematorium level or whatever. That was rough.
It was bad.
That was rough for everyone.
Yes. But we'll see how we're feeling. I think if we make some strong progress here in the next couple episodes, we will reassess.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to miss any episodes because of Summer Game Fest, because we leave on Thursday and we'll be back before the next Wednesday. Although Dan's going to be traveling at some point here.
Yeah, Dan's also got his surgery coming up and stuff. He's going to be, although that's the kind of show where maybe he says he might dial in from bed or something. We'll see. We'll see how it's going to go. We have to do a Delight Club. No complaints from me.
That's all. We'll find ways to delight Jeff. Don't worry. But Jeff, that is it with the super chats. If everyone wants to squeeze one in, we will still read it before the end of the show. Thank you, everybody.
Excellent. All right. Mike, what have you been playing?
Oh, mostly just more Thousand Year Door, which continues to be great. But I mentioned that Mists of Pandaria remix experience going on in World of Warcraft. Just kind of this chance to go back to an older expansion and play it while getting some new rewards. And it's kind of, a bit of a faster track. Basically, an excuse to level up a new character before the real expansion, The War Within, comes out later in the year. Get some fun cosmetics. And for that, I've been enjoying it. Mists of Pandaria's expansion didn't play at the time, but I've gone back to that area again when I'm leveling alts or whatever. It's a very pretty expansion, right? So like just the vibe, all like the Jade Forest and these temples. It's very pretty, very good music. So for that, I've been having fun with it. I did a dungeon today, and they kind of went the route of like, you're just going to be really overpowered and the dungeon's going to be trivial. So it's like, okay,
sure.
I guess I'm getting good experience points, but it's not very interesting. You're just romper stomping through it. Kind of just like what would happen if I queued up for that dungeon while playing the normal version of the game. I kind of want to be like, no, I want this dungeon to be interesting. Like, I have to like try and stuff and not just have the tank run forward and collect everybody until we AoE storm them down, which is like kind of what World of Warcraft dungeons do turn into sometimes. I think that's a place where Final Fantasy 14 works a lot better, is their dungeon design in general. But still, mostly having a good time, fun distraction. Also been doing Diablo 4 because they had a new season drop, and it's fun, but it's like, oh, this big season thing for the Diablo nerds is this big deal because the loot changes. As somebody who played Diablo when it came out, played through the campaign, didn't do a lot of season content, I don't really know what the difference is, but I'm still having fun playing Diablo, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I've heard from a lot of people. It's like, man, sure is nice just to be playing Diablo, and that's like the assessment of all this new stuff. So they didn't screw it up at the very least, right?
No, I think people are happy with it. I don't know. People seem to be playing, and
that's what I get. Yeah,
I'm getting plenty of experience points. So if your main metric is like, am I getting enough experience points?
Sure.
Yes, you are. Plenty of experience points.
I also have been spending a lot more time with the 1,000 Year Door, really enjoying it. But everything that we talked about on Nintendo still stands. I just did some dabbling on a bunch of indie games that came out this week, some smaller stuff. There's this one called Echo Stasis, which is like, I was explaining it to Dan. It's not like that VHS aesthetic that's very popular. It's adjacent to that, but it's more like the public cable access aesthetic, where someone has like a TriCaster in the background and they're putting up text and it's all like big and blocky. And you're exploring this world where you are the administrator and you have a terminal and you need to go up to this computer and put in these text commands. And you can always tell like what is a command because you might see something in the world, and any word that's in a bracket is something that the computer will react to. And you need to like figure out what's going on with this virus. And then there's like shooter levels. It's very cool, very stylish. I'm not sure like how much more there is to the experience or the gameplay, but the presentation is top notch. And at the very least, it's interesting. And I'm kind of hoping it can keep that up throughout the entire experience. And then I tried PO'd Definitive Edition from Night Dive. That's that old shooter where you play as a chef and you start off with a frying pan and then you get like those big cleavers.
Oh, I'm so excited for PO'd.
Yeah, it's out now on Steam. I don't know if it's
it is? How did that happen without me knowing?
Where's my
PO'd? Where's my PO'd code? Why isn't everyone talking about PO'd?
Yeah.
That was a 3DO game, damn it.
It was, yes, that's it. Starts off with like 3DO or whatever when you turn it on or something. Or maybe I also played Killing Time, which I think was also a 3DO game, which is on Steam. We were talking about that the other day because that's Sega Lord X video.
This game's been out for like 2 weeks.
It's been out for 2 weeks. Yeah,
I've been gone. I was gone. No,
oh, that explains
I'm behind.
it. Did you get the email? Did you switch your email for it? Because I'm like,
I don't remember.
They definitely should have reached out to you because I think they know that we're.
Nobody in this field cares more about PO than me.
Yes.
If they didn't reach out to me, they fucked up.
Right, and I think they know that we're also big fans of just all these weird things that when Night Dive takes these very old games that no one really talks about. We're the ones talking about it. PO'd, a lot of fun, very strange. But I what I appreciate about it is Night Dive makes these games feel so easy to play. Because I did immediately try to go play that Killing Time game, and it's like, arrows to move. The keys are all over the place. So just honestly, just making these games WASD and mouse is such a huge improvement.
It is.
It's like, okay, I can actually play this. And then now it's like, okay, it's still obtuse in a lot of ways, but now it's like fun to figure out how it works instead of like struggling just to get the game to work. But yeah, they did a good job. Like always, I really enjoyed myself so far in PO'd. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. It is going to be Thousand Year Door, which is such a security blanket right now because there's so much going on with getting ready for SGF and all these things like the show's happening, and it's like I don't want to play a game that's going to stress me out. And the Thousand Year Door is the furthest thing away from that. So really happy to have that game right now.
I just got the mob boss's daughter back to him, and it was a very emotional experience for everybody.
Yeah, that's great. That's fun. I tried to do the most noble thing at all times, but I'm like, I wonder what it would be like if I was like a little bit more of a shit here. No idea.
Now you're coming with me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that sort of thing.
Because it's the same outcome.
Yeah, right. Probably exactly. But I just
how's it different?
Yeah.
Man, short stream tonight. Short show tonight.
Yeah, listen, everybody. I appreciate everyone's kind words. I do need to recover. I need to go to sleep.
Let's get our boy to bed.
Maybe take tomorrow off from work. So we'll see. I'll probably.
To be clear, it's not a short show. It's still 2 hours. That's why I was saying.
Oh, really? I had no idea.
You said, I was like, no, yeah, it's still just been 2 hours.
Like, honestly, last time I looked at the clock, it was like 10:05, and like it feels like it's been like 5 minutes since then. But nope, it's been 50 minutes.
Here.
Yes, we have a good time.
We have fun here, but let's take Jeff to bed. Let's tuck him in, give him a little kiss on the forehead. It'll be all good. Get the vapor rub on his chest, maybe.
Well, that sounds like the good stuff. Mikey, where can people find you on the internet?
Tolkoto everywhere. Twitch, Twitter, Blue Sky. Is that what that thing's called? Yeah, that place also. Yeah, follow me just like Twitch followed me on Twitch today. So that was funny. I was like, is this Twitch? Then they like kind of talked in the chat room for a while. I was like, oh, Twitch is here, everyone.
That does feel like the cops showing up a little bit, though. It really does.
It was a little weird. It's like, Mr. Twitch is here, I guess.
Just stop saying all that.
Or Mrs.
Stuff.
Twitch.
Yeah, who knows?
I don't know.
Who knows? Yeah. If stuff happens on Giant Bomb tomorrow, we'll have a UPF. I'll probably do Game S mornings regardless, because I was going to do Game S mornings and then I was going to like go right to the doctor. So we'll see. But there's been plenty of fun stuff on Giant Bomb all week. You should go watch that voicemail dump truck today. It was very fun.
Another super chat.
Super chat from Darachi just says, feel better soon, Jeff.
Thank you, Darachi. I appreciate that. Watch our talk over of the PlayStation Showcase. I thought we did a really good job. We had a lot of fun stuff.
It was great. Jeff, get that game set somewhere else. Put it in your shed.
I will put it into an exclusion zone. Yes, I will find a place in the Deadlands to bury it.
Yeah, I hope you feel better, Jeff. But I would just like to get it on the record. Who was right about the game set?
I don't know. No one ever warned me about it.
I do think Mike was probably right.
I do think Mike was probably right.
I love when I came in to a thing you were recording, and I said that first. Everybody thought that Dan just pushed the button again.
Yeah,
Dan
it
thought
sounded
somebody
exactly
else
like
had
it.
the voice clip.
Yeah, Dan was like,
I really fucked up.
Yeah, Dan was like specifically like, I didn't press that. Who has that now? And it's like, Dan, I thought it was you. And then you just started saying other stuff, and I got very confused for a second.
It's just me, everybody.
Good time. Well, you know what? Let me look up this Road 96 right now. It's got to be.
Yeah, I know. I was looking it up too. I think it's like a kind of like an adventure game.
Yeah, other people are
adventure
mentioning they like it. Oh, I put it on my wish list. Look at that.
How about that? You don't remember it.
Nope.
Did you review this one too?
This one I did not. No, thankfully. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll catch you next time. Have a good one. Take care of yourself, and goodbye.
Bye.
Gamesmith reviewed this game.
Who?
Reviewed by Jeff Grubb?
No, shut the fuck up.
I'm kidding.
That'd be incredible.
Wrong button. Oh shit. Okay. Incredible.
I'm so glad we have that.
And then his face for the icon. That's good.
Yeah.